A group of baristas at the Elmwood Starbucks store in Buffalo, New York, voted to unionize, becoming the first of the coffee chain's 9,000 corporate-owned stores in the country to do so. The election was a landslide for the union, with 19 workers voting in favor and 8 workers voting against at this Elmwood Starbucks in Buffalo. The second location, because there was 3 voting today, that lost, which I'm sure we'll talk about, with 12 workers voting no and 8 workers voting yes. And a third location actually voted pretty resoundingly yes. 15 workers voted in favor of the union, 9 workers voted against. But Starbucks is challenging, saying that there were 7 votes that need to be reviewed. But we believe that other location, even though Starbucks is challenging it, will also be yes for a union. So I want to just play this video so the audience could see the excitement of you guys finding out when the first store, the Elmwood store, had voted overwhelmingly yes. Colin, if you could play it. Yeah, let me just ask you, because I think, for working people, the working class, the progressive movement, there haven't been a lot of great feelings lately. Maybe not in 30 years, really. This is a humongous victory. I mean, Starbucks is really up there in the upper echelon of the global corporations. It's everywhere. This is really David versus Goliath. So the fact that you guys have won even one store, let alone it looks like it will be 2 when it's all said and done. Just tell me what was going through your mind when you found out about the first victory.
I mean, going into today, I it's just extremely excited, but also anxious, because you never know going into these elections, like how ultimately they're going to turn out. We know Starbucks has run one of the most intense anti-union campaigns we've seen in recent history. And just totally dominated the workspace for all of us in all stores across Buffalo. So when that last ballot came out and we knew we had the majority, a super majority, and we won the vote, we were crying. I was crying. RJ, you can speak to it too, but yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was honestly one of the most satisfying feelings you could have after months of what amounts to essentially a war of attrition that the company has been waging against its own workers. All the money and the time and effort that they've dumped into just trying to lie to people and make us out to be, these monsters who just want to watch the world burn, when in reality, the workers are what makes this company. We're what make, these corporate executives rich. We're who buys Howard Schultz's penthouses. If it wasn't for the work that we do, Starbucks wouldn't be where it is. So it's only fair that we have a seat at the negotiating table and be able to have a democratic say in our workplace. To me, it was just extremely satisfying after what was months of a lot of hard work that people put into this. And it just goes to show it doesn't matter how much money Starbucks puts into fighting against the union and what kind of greasy tactics they use. In the end, the workers are always going to win. That's just the fact of it.
And I'd like to ask, because I've covered Amazon, their union battle in Staten Island. It's a little different because that warehouse has 7,000 something workers. This was just 3 stores. But despite the differences, I mean, Starbucks had flooded, like, not just these 3 stores, pretty much all stores in Buffalo, with executives from around the country, senior management from out of state. They hired new workers who, according to the workers I spoke with, were not even necessary. I mean, they just flooded your stores, in my view, to get in the middle and disrupt the pro-union workers, to kind of get in the middle of your momentum, make it difficult for you to communicate, make it more difficult to organize. So can you kind of talk about, as Starbucks flooded the zone, and added all these extra people, the executives, literally Rossann Williams, the president of North America, is sweeping floors in Buffalo. How did you guys overcome that? I mean, clear union busting to stay organized and cohesive, because in Elmwood, the first store that successfully unionized, it was 19-8. How did you stay organized and stay strong and band together when it was kind of chaotic in the stores?
Well, I mean, in my store, I work at the Cheektowaga location, where we're pretty sure it's going to be a victory, even though there's still some stuff to be decided. But
no, I mean we're definitely
it's going to be it's a win.
I mean, to just the quick like rundown of like what we're looking at for the legal hearing coming up on that. Starbucks had packed the voting rolls with workers from another store. They had closed down actually 2 stores in the area and moved workers from both those stores into it. One of those stores is Walden Anderson, which is just recently refiled. And those workers actually worked longer than the Niagara Falls Boulevard workers that had been put on the voting rolls and worked there for a week. And none of those Walden Anderson partners got a ballot. And that basically, like, their case is dead in the water. Those votes are not going to be counted. We are just as confident about that as we are about our past legal cases that we've had against Starbucks winning our bargaining unit size. So,
absolutely, and Starbucks is just totally aggressive and hostile attitude that they've been taking towards the union has driven a lot of the new partners in the direction of the union, because they see immediately what side they're on. As soon as, when you're a new hire and you come into the company, this was my experience. I haven't worked at Starbucks that long. By the time I had started working and got hired, I got thrown right into the middle of this. And my first day at Starbucks was being in an anti-union meeting before I had even worked a shift or been trained. So they were trying to curate these votes to turn out as no's from the beginning, because that's what they tried to do with me. Now, as far as talking about Amazon, I had the pleasure actually of being able to go out to Staten Island and talk with Chris Smalls and other Amazon organizers out there. Sat outside the tents and heard about how they were able to sign up 2,000 people, and I think it's awesome what they're doing out there. I think something that speaks to the power of what Starbucks workers have been able to do here in Buffalo is, even when you saw the Bessemer Amazon campaign going on, which was an amazing fight, even though they didn't win it, you didn't see Jeff Bezos come out to the warehouse and personally try and bust the union, right? But here at Starbucks, we had Howard Schultz flying out to Buffalo. What other reason would he ever come to Buffalo aside from to bust up a union like this? So to me, the fact that we've got the final boss coming out to try and squash us, it's just a testament to how passionate and how much work we've put into this, and the fact that they really do believe that we can win as much as we believe we can win. Otherwise, they wouldn't be trying so damn hard.
Right. And I think it also should be said that you guys in Buffalo have been complaining about certain things forever. I mean, in one of the stories I just read, there was a problem with a beehive in one of the stores. And you guys complained and complained and complained, like people were getting stung by bees. And it was after you started this union campaign, all of a sudden they send in an exterminator. That kind of shit is going on all over this country, the United Corporations of America, as I call it, where bad working conditions, equipment not working, unsafe conditions, whatever, and workers complain and nothing happens. In fact, for a while, they've told you, oh, you don't like it? Take a hike. But this kind of shows if workers actually take action. You guys benefited. New York tends to be a bit of a stronger union town than others. But if workers take action, all of a sudden they're rolling the red carpet and they fly the executives in, and they're doing, talking about your wonderful direct relationship. But can you kind of just speak to a lot of people are nihilistic and think the country's too corrupt? Can you kind of talk about the power of the workers? I know that's your workers, Starbucks Workers United, but the workers actually uniting, because Starbucks really couldn't do much once that energy kind of spread.
Yeah, no, I mean that it's really shown that, if workers stand together in solidarity, there isn't, no matter how many millions they throw at you, ultimately if the workers want it and they stand together, there's nothing the company can do to stop us. I mean, from the beginning, especially at like Elmwood and Airport, I mean, RJ, along with Carolyn, Donka, and Lexi, like they're amazing, like organizing committee, the leaders there. did such a great job turning that store around. It was 100% on the cards initially when we first filed for it. They had totally disrupted the store, taken out most of the leadership for leaves of absences, both because of like having to go through legal hearings and having the leadership of that store present. But I mean, y'all turned it around. Like it went from like thinking 100% to think we're not going to win it to winning it today. Yeah, I mean, again, like we are confident we've won this store. Starbucks can send the text message that they sent partners across the district today saying that, well, nothing's definitive. They didn't mention Elmwood. It just mentioned that, well, we want Camp Road voted to keep their direct relationship and, Cheektowaga's up in the air. But no, we won 2 stores today. And it's just that power of like solidarity. I mean, like this is something anyone can do. We all work. If you're smart, keep quiet while you organize initially, and then get a really strong team of leaders and just workers that want to make real changes for democracy in their workplace. Like there's nothing the company can do. And if workers don't back down, you're going to have your union. So,
yeah, I'm going to sleep easy tonight. I'm going to get probably better sleep than I have in a long time, knowing that confidently that my store is going to be the second unionized Starbucks in the United States.